Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, that sitteth in the seat that is can't fall. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law does he hideth sunrise and sundown. Him I go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in the season. Him live never I go wither, and whatsoever him doeth shall prosper. Yea! The heathen them now they saw them there like a chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn for judgment of the sinner man them in the congregation of the righteous, for the Lord God Jah love the way of the righteous and the way of the sinner man them always and always I will perish. Let the people of the Most High God say, Joe! Kadama we gromabia tela exact beer tana istalina bashante shante 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 kadama we gromabia tela where 2 and 3 meet in the name of the Most High Jah, and that's so Jaja there. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain same way. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. And I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negusto Negusto Danielama, Komaya Sataya. Aimana pio aya. Karamawe grumabe. This is the Black Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO'S, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Now in every traditional African home there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something sumptuous cooking, something nutritious cooking, something appetizing cooking, something tantalizing cooking. Because ingredients of so many different types, shapes, sizes, colors, aromas, and even flavors put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot, be subjected to some amount of eating, and food is ready. So tantalizing, so palatable. Oh yes, so some shots. Now the food does not even benefit the ingredients nor the black pot. It is us who eat the food. We are the beneficiaries, yet every time there is this wonderful collaboration between the black pot and the ingredients to produce food that they do not even partake in eating, yet every time it is done. Now this selflessness is what we must all learn. Yes, this selflessness is what we all must look up to and uphold in high esteem. The black pot represents the continent of Africa, and the ingredients represent us, the people. We must always collaborate to produce development for our people, our continent, our land. We must be that generation that plants trees, the tree planting generation, the Joshua generation. We've planted pepper, planted onion, planted maize for far too long. One season crops, so we can harvest quickly, eat quickly, sleep quickly, die quickly, be buried quickly, and be forgotten quickly. No, time now to plant trees. We know we might not live long enough to benefit from the shade of the trees, but does it really matter? Just like the black pot and the collaboration with the ingredients, even if the next generation comes to enjoy that, is it a problem? Certainly not. We are also benefiting from the shades of trees that our ancestors and people who came before us planted, yet they are not here today to benefit from that. This is the Black Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO'S, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. We are ably supported by the app that we call Is It? In spirit, in truth. Now, if you're tired of that social media app that is tormenting you, full of negativity, full of nudity, racism, and even violence, it's time to switch on to this wonderful app. It's called ISIT. ISIT, in spirit, in truth. Now, what does it do? It's so wonderful. Everything social media does, it does, except the negative ones. Upload your photographs, upload your videos, tell your story, connect with other positive minds, and you can also go live. At the same time, you can make audio and video calls. Yes, messaging, free. Everything here is free and is crystal clear and fast. Now, this app was made by Ghanaians right there in America. And this is for the whole of Africa. Support the African business. This is the show that supports everything positive that is African. So it's available on App Store and Google Play. Oh, connect with family and friends. Make memories and let these memories stay. We are talking about ISIT, in spirit, in truth. That's what everybody's talking about. Now, there are powerful algorithms that sap out anything negative that is about to pop up from ISIT, and it never gets to see the light of the day. Powerful. Science at work. This is the Blakk Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO'S, where we speak truth to power. And we are on YouTube. We are Black Empire Media. Our Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. And of course, we want to ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification button so that every time we unleash these stories, you'll be the first to watch. This is the Blakk Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO'S, where we speak truth to power. Now, the very first story rolls on your screen. Remember, we are live on Pan-African TV, also live on Loud Silence TV, super live on Black Empire TV. Ghana cocoa falls to Galamsey. And this is former President Mahama speaking. What does he mean by Ghana cocoa falling to Galamsey? This is Ghana cocoa. The beans are superb. It's the sweetest cocoa in the world. We have a mysterious story that accompanies our cocoa. Our history tells us that cocoa was brought into this country by Tete Kwashi, albeit arguably. And of course, this is the sweetest cocoa in the world. We have the best cocoa in the world. And when you really want to enjoy cocoa, the country to come to is Ghana. Everybody touts the efficiency and sweetness of Ghana cocoa. The best chocolates come from Ghana cocoa. Ghana used to be #1 in the world in cocoa production. All of a sudden, its sister country, the Ivory Coast, took over. But of course, even the Ivorians know that, yes, they are the leaders in cocoa production, but when it comes to the sweetness of the cocoa and the quality, is Ghana cocoa. But can that be said of the same Ghana cocoa today? Certainly not. And this is what President Mahama is talking about. Now, let me take you down the annals of history. Apart from the fact that arguably we are the best producers of the sweetest cocoa in the world, we are also the people who named our cocoa the golden pod. So when you talk about the golden pod, every eye goes towards Ghana, that beautiful country, Tete Kwashi's country. Our cocoa came all the way from Bioko in the Equatorial Guinea. In fact, today, that island is known as Bioko, but in the days it was called Fernando Po. We got our cocoa from the Europeans who had come to that island, and they experimented with it. It grew so well in Fernando Po, today called Bioko. That's how we got our cocoa in Ghana. The very first cocoa that came onto the continent is the same species we have. And we are growing right here by the courtesy of the missionaries and Tete Kwashi. So we have established that we have the best cocoa. The history of our cocoa is unique. Now let us proceed. Now it came to a time that cocoa was the main thing that brought us money in this country. Yes, we have gold, we have diamond, we have bauxite. Now we are even getting more minerals in this country. But it came to a time, yes, we enjoyed the benefits coming from the cocoa. the cocoa all of a sudden gave way to Galamsey. What is Galamsey? Illegal mining. The EU came in with a chunk of money and gave that to Ghana and said, listen, we love your cocoa industry. Use this to improve the industry. After a few years, when the EU came to check how far Ghana had prospered with the support that they gave to the cocoa industry, they realized that a lot of the farms had given way to Galamsey, illegal mining. A lot of the farmers had decided that they were not going to do cocoa anymore. What they did was to sell their farmlands to be turned into mining sites. And that's what former President Mahama is talking about. So the EU got angry and said, listen, we are not going to support this country's cocoa anymore. Internationally, we are not going to import Ghana cocoa anymore because it's polluted by illegal mining, aka Galamsey. So we don't want it anymore. They threatened. All of a sudden, China came out and said, oh, we have the same Ghana cocoa growing in China, the same species, the same sweetness, and ours is not polluted. But of course, we all know how much China is involved in the destruction of the land right here in Ghana. We know how much Chinese people are involved in this so-called Galamsey business. As if that was not enough. We had Al Jazeera coming in. Al Jazeera came in and then unrolled a certain documentary. What did the documentary say? It said that the Ghana cocoa industry was bereft with so much forced labor and child labor. Children who were supposed to be going to school were rather sent to the farms, cocoa farms, to work. Again, forced labor. People who were taken from the hinterlands, they are brought here beyond any reason and forced into this kind of work. So Al Jazeera suggested that Ghana cocoa is actually made or produced from nothing but false illegal labor. False illegal labor. So the whole world started talking about it. But it was the cocoa minister who came out, Boahin-Edu. Mr. Boahin-Edu came out, and this is the man. He was my lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I respect him a lot, but he has failed with the cocoa. He came and asked Al Jazeera to apologize to him and the people of Ghana for saying that forced labor and child labor are responsible for the production of Ghana cocoa. Al Jazeera never budged and nothing happened. Today is the same thing the president is doing, asking Al Jazeera to apologize for saying in a documentary that a certain gold smuggler by name Alistair Matthias was his client and he was the lawyer of this man. That's all he's interested in. He's not interested in the fact that Alistair Matthias also rolled him into the gold smuggling business and at the same time into some real estate business where some $100 million was even accrued to that project, and the president enjoyed that. He's only interested in saying that I wasn't the lawyer of Alistair Matthias. Whatever it is, as we say in Ghana, when we get to the bridge, we shall cross it. So President Mahama, former president, is talking, and he says that Ghana cocoa falls to Galamsey. And by the two instances given, you know that he's speaking out of facts. But what is the cocoa board saying? What is the minister of cocoa saying? Boahin-Edu, my former lecturer. Watch this and come here. Watch it. Cocoa board refused Mahama's claim cocoa industry is dying. Says Ghana is world's second highest producer. Yes, we know that. Yes, we know that, and we established that. But we lost the first position to the Ivory Coast. And the way it is going, if we are not careful, we're going to lose it next to Brazil or some other such country. Because geometrically, we are losing cocoa farms to Galamsey size. That's all he said. And listen to what they are saying from the cocoa board and see if they make sense. The management of Ghana Cocoa Board has urged the general public to dismiss former President John Mahama's claims that the cocoa industry is collapsing, according to the management. Contrary to former President Mahama's claims, the industry saw the highest ever cocoa production volume in the 2020-2021, that's 2 years, 3 years ago, season, adding that cocoa producer price has seen a significant increase in the past 3 years. In a press release dated April 27, Cocoa Board stated that Mr. Mahama's comments are not only misleading but also detrimental to the cocoa industry. We further wish to put on record and also assure the general public that the cocoa industry is not collapsing, as being portrayed by the former president. Ghana recorded its highest ever cocoa production volume of 1,045,500. Yes, 1,045,500 metric tons in the 2020-2021 crop season, the management stated. That's what he said. They added that a cocoa industry which holds the position as the second highest producer in the world cannot also be said to have collapsed. Cocoa Board continues to invest in interventions which will ensure not just the sustenance but the growth of the industry. Dash it away. So you see, they are only trying to save their jobs and do propaganda. Al Jazeera was here to say that your cocoa farms are bereft with forced labor and child labor. You couldn't say anything but to ask them to retract and apologize. Al Jazeera said, no, if you have facts, bring that out, because we also have our investigations here. Come here. Watch me. EU came here and gave us money. Right after they gave the money, they came back and realized that a lot of the land was polluted and a lot of the cocoa farms had given way to what? Galamsey. What did you say to that? So your problem is that, yes, Galamsey is going on. The cocoa farms and cocoa pods are being polluted. Yes, we are losing some amount of cocoa, but we are not collapsing. We are still number 2. Can you believe this? The history of our cocoa, one of the first nations in West Africa to start the production of cocoa, we should never have gone to number 2. Now the golden pod, the legendary golden pod, show me Ghana cocoa, the golden pod, is the best in the world. Now you sat down, you have given way to the Ivory Coast to come and take over the second position. And interestingly, Ivory Coast also tops in the production of coffee. Proper coffee. The Ivory Coast is seriously involved in agriculture whilst we are destroying arable lands with the so-called Galamsey. And that is what the former president is saying. Cocoa production is declining. Then you come and tell me, oh, yeah, so the 2020-21 season, we actually had the highest ever in the production of cocoa. Oh, my God. Is that how mediocre you can think? I remember Bloomberg came to talk about this so-called highest cocoa production. What happened after 2021? It slumped boom, to the ground. So you are going back 2 years ago that, oh, you had this bumper harvest. What happened a year after? It slumped to the ground. Bam! Are you denying that cocoa lands are being sold for Galamsey? We saw videos of old men and women claiming that they had done cocoa for so long and that nobody could stop them from selling their cocoa farms. Now they were going to sell those to Chinese miners so that they could make money and go and sit back home. If the producer price had increased that well for them, do you think they will be selling this so that they will give up on cocoa? They prefer selling it and getting the gold money to keeping it for the industry to even grow or for them to be cheated as they claim. Remember recently they were asking you to increase producer price and all that for them? Did they do it? Now the government is saying that they increased it. Why are they still selling cocoa farms? Why? Are they getting more money from that? So you see, all these things culminate into one fact. We need to fight the menace of Galamsey. Galamsey is not good. Galamsey is evil. And if you have government officials, both from the past government and this government, still involved in Galamsey, illegal mining, are these people human beings? Can you call them human beings? At the time that Galamsey was banned in Ghana under Nana AKUFO-ADDO, they said they still gave out 47 or is it 67 concessions into protected forests. When the dirty ghost Sir John was here, what happened? He gave timber concessions in conserved forests, reserved forests, forest reservations, and people were going there and lumbering. Do you care about the nation? Are you daft? These are some of the words we use on the people, and people say we are harsh. I do not understand how a human being who loves his country and has been given the mandate to run a certain sector of the economy, you allow people in a conserved forest, a forest reservation, to go and fell trees because you will get some selfish money into your pocket, ill-gotten wealth. You are a lunatic. You are mad. Yet if you go to our jailhouses, all these lunatics are not in there. And if you go to a psychiatric hospital, they are not there either. It is weed smokers who are in the psychiatric hospitals and also in the jailhouses. Is it weed smokers who are selling the lands in the forest reserves? Is it weed smokers who are in government? Is it them? Yet no government official is locked up. In our political history, only a handful of them have ever tasted jail. Yet when they are in opposition, they know all the criminals in power. When they come into power, they are not able to fish out those criminals and get them gold. Former President Mahama has spoken, but hear me now. If you have Mahama's picture, put it up. Mr. Mahama, bring his photo, please. Listen, Mr. Mahama. With all respect, you were president before. And during your tenure, there was so much Galamsey going on. In fact, some government officials were also involved in this nasty thing. Per the report coming from Professor Frimpong Boateng. You couldn't do that much. Nana Addo has taken it to another level. If you were a kindergarten Galamsey president, Nana Addo is the professor emeritus of Galamsey. We are hearing that even his backyard had Galamsey going on. We'll talk more about it in this edition. Mr. President, if you ever have the opportunity to be president again, and I keep saying it, keep your eyes on the legacy that you leave behind. You can't steal money that will keep you alive forever. It's not possible. You will finish spending the money. But you can keep spending the legacy that you leave behind until you die. Your children will come and keep spending or benefiting or enjoying that legacy. That's why Kwame Nkrumah will remain a hero forever. His children would eat. Look, the children of Kwame Nkrumah don't need to work anymore. Anywhere they go, they only need their faces and the DNA of Kwame Nkrumah in theirs. That's it. Look at Bob Marley. His children don't need to make music. The children can make music like angels. People still rate their father more than them. All they need to do is to say we are Bob Marley's children. They are eating. A good name is better than riches. Yet the African politician doesn't know that. He's always interested in stealing. And in the time of Mahama, there were so many thieves in government. So much corruption. So corrupt. Until Nana AKUFO-ADDO came. I always said that Mahama was the most corrupt president Ghana ever saw. And I said it on radio and on TV. Everywhere. Those who know Black Rasta know this. But when Nana ADDO came, I realized that no. Mahama was only a kindergarten corrupt president. Nana AKUFO-ADDO is professor emeritus to the umpteenth time. Corrupt president. Corruption. And he's too old to even see the corrupt people around him. His cousin Gabi is running all over the place. His name is mentioned in every Galamsey activity. What kind of a guy are you? Yet he has a British passport. What business do you have in this country? What business do you have in this country's politics and running? Any Ghanaian who decides to call himself British, let him remain British. If I was the president of this country, I'll push for that law. Ghana should be the first country to say that if you hold the Ghanaian citizenship, you cannot hold any other citizenship in the world. Let's see the true Ghanaians. If you want to be British Ghanaian, no, this is not your country. Be British. American guy, hey, you be American. What is happening? Let's think about it. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kokushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Come here and give me the next thing. IMF playing games with Ghana. What is the IMF? International Monetary Fund. That's it. It's always been a playground for European bourgeoisies. And the sacrifice is always Africa. I do not know when Africans will wean themselves off this demonic IMF. I do not know. In the days of Kwame Nkrumah, when the Cold War started, and the loans that America was supposed to give to Ghana failed under President Bill Lyndon, what happened? Nkrumah decided to go to the IMF. And when he went in there, and they gave them, I'm talking about Ghanaians, the terms and conditions, Nkrumah looked at this and said, what? Keep your money, and walked off. Yes, he was overthrown, but better be overthrown than saddle your people in debt. The international money, are they playing games with Ghana? Let's look at this. Ghana's IMF bailouts. So why has the approval delayed? Come here. Why has the approval delayed? Run the story. Without assurance from Ghana's external creditors, it may be impossible to get $3 billion bailout package from the IMF. For Ghana to obtain the much anticipated support from the International Monetary Fund, it must meet certain crucial conditions, and the most pressing has to do with debt restructuring at both domestic and external levels. For domestic debt restructuring is a bingo. Government has managed to restructure about 98 billion Ghana cedis of its domestic bonds with a participation rate of 85%. The next hurdle to cross is restructuring at the external level. About 72% of the external debt will be eligible for restructuring, meaning out of the 31 billion American dollars owed to external creditors, $22 billion will undergo debt treatment. Can we imagine? Let's break this down. Now, out of the $22 billion, 1.6 billion belonging to non-residents who bought domestic bonds have already been restructured. 14.8 billion American dollars is owed to commercial creditors, including Eurobond creditors, while 5.4 billion American dollars belongs to bilateral creditors, with China and the Paris Club heavily involved. For most developing economies, the IMF World Bank Spring meeting was an opportunity to exert final pressure on restructuring talks, and Ghana left no stone unturned. 9 lawmakers joined a delegation led by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison to convince external creditors to come to the negotiation table. During the spring meetings, there were a series of calls from different angles urging creditors to fast-track debt operation talks, especially for developing countries. Dash. Come here. So you see, I like the statistics. What is debt restructuring? We owe you. We are unable to pay now. We were supposed to pay on this date. Could you give us time so that we would pay at a later date, even if you want to add interest? That is what is called debt restructuring. They decided to do that to retired people, old men and old women who served this country. They needed their money for drugs. They needed their money for hospital bills. When you grow old, you know that you are susceptible to so many sicknesses. We all will grow old, we'll reach there. Yes! And then you are going to take this person's money. So our retired workers, the great citizens of this nation, said, so this is a country that does not respect the sacrifice of men and women in yesteryears. You come back to us because of your mismanagement and your thievery. You want to sacrifice us again so you can steal and rob on a new platform. How many understand what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. They have sacrificed already. It's time for them to rest and go home quickly and rest quietly. But you pull them out of their rest and have them picket around the finance ministry, all because you want to keep their money. Some of them, their money was even supposed to be kept for 8 more years before they had it. They had to go there and cry. Only God knows how many of them died. That is debt restructuring. To keep the money and pay a later day. That's what it means. Now we are going around begging our creditors, external creditors. As for those who are internal, we have forced them and squeezed their necks to accept it, like we're trying to do with the retired people. So now, you hear that the finance minister is in China. He's begging the Chinese. Oh, China, we are begging you. We are a useless nation full of thieves. Our politicians are nothing but criminals who have stolen money. And for that matter, we beg you to call us stupid idiots and then allow us to pay you on a later day. Allow us to pay you on a later day. We are begging you. And China looks at it and says, well, your mismanagement is not our problem. Again, your thievery is not our problem. Your criminality is what we are interested in. If you have the criminal minds that you claim you have, please allow us to come and join in the criminality in your country, to destroy your land and steal the gold and the diamond and fell the rosewood so that we would allow you to restructure the debt. I'm speaking tongue in cheek. How many people understand that? Nobody would allow you to restructure their debt just like that. You had a signed agreement. I will pay you in 1 year. This is how much I owe you. The interest is like this. Some of them are even interest-free loans. After 1 year, you come back and say you need 8 more years. Why? What are you going to give me in consideration? What you are giving to me, do I want it? No, I don't want it. I want to come and do Galamsey. And a desperate president cannot say no. After all, his chief advisor, far older than him, was the one who perpetrated and engineered the safe exit of Aisha Huang from this country without any punitive measures meted out to her. She returned. She turned our country into a joke. You have deported me? You think this is like China? You think this is like China? No, it's not like China. Before you enter China, you have to go through a lot. Even if a cockroach is entering there, they will detect you. Not in this country. So many porous borders all over the place. People enter here night and day. Aisha Huang came back into the country. And what happened? She's in court right now. They might be engineering to let her go because they don't want to hurt their paymasters, China. Anytime there's a restructuring of debt, it's several steps backward into slavery, several steps backward into colonialism. You owe me money. You cannot pay. I call the shots right now. This is what I want from you if you want to restructure that debt. Can you say no? I don't know how many people understand this reasoning, but that is what it is. There is no more independence in this country. We have gone several strides back into colonialism and imperialism. What Nkrumah tried to prevent by not going to the IMF. Sankara told us one thing and we will never forget it. He who feeds you controls you. Where your stomach is, that is the point of control. We eat food and we don't know the kitchen the food is coming from. And we think we are smart. We think, say, you're wise. Mumu man. Watch this. Struggling Ghana loses access to Eurobond market. Faces depleting reserves. Run the reading. We are just reading the first paragraph. In June 2022, when Ghana approached the IMF for a $3 billion bailout package, it was because the country's gross international reserves had begun to deplete and dwindle so rapidly that it placed enormous pressure on the cedi, making it extremely difficult to meet its import bills. Cut it. Anything we import in this country, the dollar is the almighty. The dollar has been weaponized. Anytime we cough, the dollar becomes a weapon and is unleashed on us. The weaponization of the dollar. We sat down and then we grew a monster. A multi-headed hydra. Blood-sucking teeth, fangs. That's the dollar. So weaponized. We've taken you through the history of the dollarization of the world. They use the Arab world. Today, the Arab world is rebelling. So many countries have come together with Russia. They have founded the BRICS. B-R-I-C-S. B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, and S for South Africa. Now many more countries are coming to join. They are fed up with the dollarization of the world. Anything you import, you need a dollar. Who is going to accept Ghana cedi? Even Togo, they have stopped accepting it. Can you go to South Africa with Ghana cedi? You will be decapitated. If you try and go with Ghana cedi to Dubai, you will enter an early grave. Try your Ghana cedi in India, they will take you to the Maharaj and hang you like a cocoon. Try your Ghana cedi in Indonesia, they will put you in the gas chamber. Take your Ghana cedi to China, they will turn you into steel to manufacture things, to bring back and sell to you. Don't try it in Nigeria. They will use your body for ngongo. That's how useless the Ghana cedi is. It's only valued in Ghana. How did the American dollar become so powerful? We've told you that before. Today, there's a war against the dollar. And I think it's in the right direction. Yes, for business reasons, we want to see not monopoly. What are the advantages and disadvantages of monopoly as against non-monopoly? Is what? Those of you who studied economics, come into action and let's look it up. So Ghana cannot go to the Eurobond to borrow anymore. You know why? Because they don't have the money. They don't have the credibility. They don't have the reserves. They are not able to even stand on their 2 feet and say that, oh, you know what? We have these reserves, that reserve, everything is gone. So what do? they have cut them out from going to the Eurobond to borrow. Now they have to go personally to beg China here for a penny, go to India here. But to go to the Eurobond, where the big boys play, the credible boys play, they can't go there. Credibility is gone. We've loaned you a lot of money you couldn't pay. You are rather coming back to beg us that we should forgive you your debts. You are coming back to borrow again. No, sir. That's all it is about the Eurobond. So this is what has taken us to the IMF. Because of our corruption, our stealing, our wickedness, and of course, we have built the nation on the foundation of corruption. The more corrupt we are, the smarter we think we are. Look at Galamsey happening. It's corruption, it's wickedness, it's foolishness. But we are engaged in it. Somebody even said it's like cocaine. We like it. You know, people are involved. We are addicted to stealing. We are addicted to corruption. This is the Black Pot, a.k.a. AKUFO-ADDO'S. When we return, we have more to discuss. Hey!
Blakk Pot, AKUFO-ADDO'S.
This is the Black Pot, aka AKUFO-ADDO'S. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Please pick up the numbers and do business with us. Remember, we are supported by ISIT, and ISIT is ISIT, in spirit, in truth. And ISIT is most powerful. You know what ISIT does? Now, if you are fed up of social media's negativity, all the racism, all the violence, all the nakedness and nudity, it is time for you to jump ships. Listen. It is a new social media app produced by Africans in America. And of course, they have powerful algorithms that stop all the negativity from even popping up. So on ISIT, you won't find any negativity. It's in spirit, in truth. And the good thing about ISIT is that it does everything that social media does that is positive. You can go live. Oh, you can make video calls and audio calls. You can message. And you can also post your photographs, your videos, tell your story, connect with family and friends, make memories, and let the memories stand the test of time. This is what ISIT is all about. Come here. Download that from Google Store and Google Play. Oh my God. And it's for free. Absolutely. This is it. Make hay while the sun is shining. And the sun is shining right there at ISIT. In spirits, in truth. Yes, thank you so much. You can also do business with us. Internationally, everybody would get to see your business. Listen, we are also on YouTube, and our name is Black Empire Media. Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Yes, as you can see right there. B-L-A-K-K. Yes, B-L-A-K-K. Black Empire Media. And the good news is that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification. You will be the first to see the stories when we unleash them. This is the pot that is black, the Black Pot. Next story. Watch me. It says what? Where is AKUFO-ADDO'S Galamsey garden? Yes, we all know Professor Frimpong Boateng. He said that a time came when there was Galamsey happening at the backyard of the president. And he had to go in with excavators and redeem the land. In fact, this report was done 2 years ago, and it just came into being again because the good old professor has been called to rise to the occasion. And if I were him, I would stay in my medical field. Politics is not his thing. He's too honest for politics. Now the president decided to bus a lot of people, journalists, to his hometown to verify if truly there was some Galamsey activity or illegal mining in his backyard. And the chiefs are angry. These are the chiefs. These are the Chebi chiefs. This is Chebi. This is where there is a Galamsey king by name Amwetia Oforipenyi Chebi Hine. In fact, he is called Ochi Hine. That's his title. He has no respect for his ancestors who held the throne before him. He has sold an old cemetery that contained the bodies of great Chebi ancestors, wonderful ancestors who helped the nation develop. He has sold the cemetery, and they have decided to exhume all the bodies of these ancestors and royals. And according to the Jasehine, they are waiting for EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, to come and pour chemicals on the bones so that they can dispose of them. The bones of your ancestors. So you see, they don't have traditional wisdom. And when we say it, they say we are too young to criticize old men. Show us Nana Addo's Galamsey garden. Chiefs dare Frimpong Boateng. Intimidation. Run it. It says, the Chebi Traditional Council is strongly demanding that Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, proves that Galamsey occurred in the president's house in Chebi in the eastern region. According to the Traditional Council, the claims in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report are false and should be dismissed with contempt. The Traditional Council threw the challenge when it took some journalists around the president's home on Thursday. Come here, my lord. Watch it. The council has requested that Professor Frimpong Boateng appears before it to corroborate his Galamsey report. Chief of Chebi, Osaberima Mafu Kwabrane. What a powerful name. I love this name. Chief of Chebi, Osaberima Mafu Kwabrane, said he should come and show us where he saw Galamsey happening. He should come here and prove to us and the whole world, my nephew, president, that's the president, is not part of that thing, Galamsey. We need Professor Frimpong Boateng himself to come and show. Your intimidation will amount to nothing. Kwabrani. You are sitting there, you are asking him to come. Sit down there and summon the appointees of your nephew who are doing Galamsey and have been mentioned in that report. Summon them. They are those who should be summoned. The professor has said it. Of course, I want the professor to be able to come out and tell us. Can we have an inquiry? Now this thing is ongoing and we want to see it live on TV. Let him answer and tell us how he saw Galamsey happening there. But remember, he said this was 2 years ago. If they have reclaimed the land, is there a way, a scientific way we can find out if the land was reclaimed? 2 years ago, Galamsey, he said he went to deal with that issue. He can give you evidence. He's a scientist. He knows that you don't just speak. You must have what? Evidence. You must question the status quo. Come here. Watch it. Hey. That's what we're talking about. You can't sit down and then be summoning people to come to Chebi so you can use them for ritual sacrifice. Or what? Why don't you summon Amwetia or Foripenyi, Chebi Hini, no, Ochi Hini, for all the Galamsey allegations, for the selling of the royal cemetery. Some of you, when you die, you are not safe. You'll be buried in a grave, in a cemetery that will be sold to be used for fuel station, and your bones, they'll pour acid on it and nane it. You are happy with that? You are summoning the professor. Please, let's be serious. When we return, we got more. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Coco show man.
This is the Black Pot, aka Coco Show, and here we speak truth to power. Come here, my lord. Now you know the driest country in Africa is Namibia. Now it is nicknamed the land of daylight, the land of sunshine. That's why you see the sun in their flag. It's the driest country in Africa. The least rainfall, yet it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Namibia. You know the Namib Desert, right? Oh gosh, what a beauty. This is the Black Pot, aka Coco Show. Next story. And what does it say? Here. No tears for bitter sour grapes at Despite. We're talking about Despite Media. Nanama McBrown is still talking. This is the woman. I like her. In fact, she went through a lot of hustle. I am happy that she's making money. She's been able to build a house. She drives some of the nice cars in town. When I knew her, she was down to the ground. And I like to see people rise from the ground to the top. We used to communicate and all that, but levels change now. You know why levels change? Because where she was, she's no longer there. People she's playing with might not be necessarily the same people that you play with. Again, her activities will become even more. And for that matter, it might be difficult for her to spend time to play or worry with you. That's why we say levels don't change. When you have a friend whose levels have changed, and he can't play or worry with you 24/7 anymore, but can manage just 1 hour, you should be happy. They will help you also rise. Don't be too ashamed. One hand washes the other. If today your hand has to be washed, do not feel too dirty. Times change, right? That is where Nana Ama McBrown is. Her history, she hasn't been to school that much, but she rose. She rose, made some movies left, right, and center. Hey, when the movie industry collapsed, she hopped on to some other things. She had the McBrown's Kitchen, where she was cooking on TV, and the whole Ghana, when you're talking about the McBrown's Kitchen, in fact, she's one of those that you would mention first. She's done well with her thing. I was invited to cook on that show twice. I couldn't make it. I was busy. You understand? I would have graced her with my face and my beard, cooked her some Ital dish, Rasta dish, you know? She's been doing this for some time, airing that on UTV. And then she was invited to come on. She was groomed to take over another TV show where she was doing entertainment. It became big and huge. Also credit to the panelists who were coming on it. Yes, you can't give her all the credit. The panelists also did well. Anoda Samoa Bedu, my very good brethren, alongside Bulldog, you know, well, it's now called Bull, is it Bullfrog? Bullguard. Bullguard. I used to call him Bullfrog because I know of a bullfrog. Of course, bulldogs are also there, but he's Bullguard. I like the transition. They all made it nice. A+, and they are our colleagues and brethren. She made it big. All of a sudden, she said, well, I think I've done too much of this. I want to move on. And it became a problem. Her program that was airing on UTV, they pulled it out because of sour grapes. When she left, some of the colleagues there at Despite maligned her and said so many bad things. But today, she says that she has no tears for Despite Media. Watch this. Should I cry if UTV isn't airing McBrown's Kitchen? She's asking. And when you listen to the tape, she said she would move it onto the next platform she's going. It's sour grapes. She said she was paying. She acknowledged the fact that UTV will continue to be a home. But levels don't change. But the people there are still bitter. They can't take it. That's how I want to be. Anytime I leave a media house, people cry. Because I think I'm a great guy. Yes, I might look harsh and sound harsh, but people around me know that I'm such a romantic, soft-hearted being. They love me and I love them. And I put in my best. I work so hard like a donkey. So anytime I say I am leaving, I'm leaving on a jet train. Don't know when I'll be back again. Kiss me and smile for me. Hold me like you never let me go. Yeah. They cry. It's the same thing with Mark Brown. She said she has no tears. The way they have treated her, pulled off a program without telling her. She's still in talks with them, but she will move it to another platform. She won't cry. Mark Brown, certainly no need to cry. But you know what? I wish you had answered it another way. I wish you had said, you are still in talks with them, and you pray that it happens and they bring it back. But if they don't bring it back, some other doors will open. And you would always be grateful to them. Like that. We all don't speak the same way. We speak differently. But when you say no tears, they might think that you are daring them. They have dared you. They've said so many bad things. But you be that matured one. Right? I don't know if I'm making sense. But you're still that lovely one. And I still love you, TV. I still love the people there. You know. Yeah, that's what I can say. Run it and bring me the last thing. We have just about 2 minutes more to go. Watch it. What does it say? It says, JOSPONG brings China to Ghana. Hey, for Galamsey or what? This is JOSPONG group of companies. Zoom Lion. Those sweeping on the streets and all that. He's a very rich guy. They call him Siao. Nigerians can't pronounce that name. Say it after me. Nigeria, say Siao. Like a cat who is about to eat meat. Siao. Like meow. Powerful name. I like such powerful African names. And I respect people with those names. JOSPONG secures 30 million euros for rice production. The Austrian government has provided a 30 million euro facility to JOSPONG group of companies for the expansion of its rice production enterprise in the country. Dash it away. I am happy that JOSPONG is getting this on behalf of Ghana. If you want a rice ambassador, I'm ready to do that. I will come and represent the Ghana rice. I love it. In the same vein, I need you to deal with the controversies surrounding Zoom Lion. Are you truly enslaving the people who are sweeping on the streets, paying them little monies, and that Zoom Lion has been corrupt in the past, inflating prices of things? Nana AKUFO-ADDO promised that if he became president, he would deal with the issue. But he rather became president, never talked about it, and endorsed you on top. There must be something that Nana AKUFO-ADDO is seeing that we are not seeing with Zoom Lion. Can you come out and clarify that? I'm glad when the local businesses are thriving, especially that you want to do agriculture. Again, this face is available. I can hold a hoe or a machete for the face of Ghana rice. This face can sell Ghana rice. I'm ready to go all over the world and preach Ghana rice. And you know I can do it. I was an ambassador of Zoom Lion in the early days of Zoom Lion, before all these things came out. And they were nasty. I do not want to be an ambassador of any brand that is enslaving Africans. Women break their back to work and they are paid as if they were slaves. Is it true? Can you deal with this issue? Manasseh Azure came out with a lot of that. But we've never heard you come out to really defend yourself. Well, thank you so much. We do appreciate you. It's been the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonomo. Is that wonderful app? Please go get it on App Store and Google Play. Do everything social media does except the negative things, man, because the algorithms there will not permit that. Meet other positive-minded people and everything is everything. We are also on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Blakk Empire TV. Oh my God. And we are called the Blakk Empire Media. Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Hey, subscribe to it and click on the notification button so that you'll be the first to feel our stories. Remember, nobody is bigger than the truth. Nobody is bigger than the truth. I love you. I appreciate you. It's been the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo. My name, Blakk Rasta. Hey! Wayo!